Rabotai, we're continuing the Sefer Shavi Pol Tzadik in Parakeh, page 151. Today we want to try to speak about what it means that every single person should try to save every single spare time that he has to be able to learn Torah, because we're going to see that the only thing that brings nachat to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is learning Torah. Of course doing mitzvot, but Rabotai, but the highest level is learning Torah, like we'll see. He says over here, V'hine Yadua, he says, it's known, Sheyesh kama dargot bebriya Rabotai. There are many levels in creation. Right, the lowest one is something that's domem, meaning something that's not live, rocks, things like that. And above it is like things that are living, like flowers, etc. Above that, Rabotai hachai, the living, meaning the hainu ba'alei haim, animals are the next level. And above all of them is a person. The Kuzari says, also, when you're dealing with people, you have two levels. Umat ha'olam, you have the regular nations. Ve'am Yisrael, you have the nation of the Jewish people. Ubevadai Rabotai, he says, and for sure he says, Shegam betoch am Yisrael yeshnam dargot Rabotai. Even in the Jewish nation, you have levels in the Jewish nation. She'ena domeh shomer Torah mitzvot. You cannot compare the one that he keeps the Torah and the mitzvot to the one that does not guard the Torah and the mitzvot. When it comes out, Ben Torah, let's do this carefully, that Ben Torah, the person that is learning Torah, that his whole being, his whole essence is hidden, like he's always in the tent of the Torah, in all the hours of the day, his head and majority of his body, meaning his whole being basically, Rabotai, is in learning Torah and learning Musar. Ubetefila and prayer, v'avodat Hashem and serving Hashem. Rabotai, listen to this carefully. His place is very high in creation. A Ben Torah's place is very high in creation. The fact that he's a Ben Torah. Today, I'll be honest with you, Rabotai, anybody who wears a kippah today, I will tell you, people look at him as a Talmid Chacham. They call him Rabbeinu, Kvod Rav, they call him everything, Rabotai. When a person looks like a Jew, Rabotai, automatically you have an obligation to behave like one. Yeah, you don't want to learn Torah, you don't have it, but you have to behave like one. That's what he says over here, that this Ben Torah, once he has that stature, from him is obligated a lot. Ki mimenu, Rabotai, listen to this carefully, only from a Ben Torah. V'rak mimenu, Rabotai, I want to show you this, Rabotai, this is so beautiful. And only from him, Rabotai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yoshev u'mitzapeh lirot nachat me'alamor, Rabotai. Hashem only sits and he awaits to see nachat from this world, meaning from this Ben Torah. He only awaits to see nachat from a Ben Torah. And the whole world was created only for this Ben Torah. It's also brought down Masech Berachot. Ubefrat, he says, Rabotai, and especially he says, Shekatav HaKatav Sofer, the Katav Sofer wrote, Amash Amru Chazal Tov Lo L'Adam Shlo Nivra in Masech Aaron Tav Yutet Amud Bet. Masech Aaron says it's better that a person wouldn't be created. So the Katav Sofer says, Shekol Zeh, you know when this is, they had a machlok, Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. Is it good for a person to be created or not? They concluded that it's better a person should not be created. The Katav Sofer says, Zeh L'Adam She'ena Mel B'Torah Ve'ena Oseh Rotzono Shel Makom. Do you know when it's good that a person should not be created? When you're not toiling in Torah and when you're not doing the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. However, he says, but a person that is oimel, that a person that is delving into the Torah and he fulfills the will of Hashem, Pishita, he says it's simple. Shitov lo shenivra, it was good that he was created. Ulekach Hashem barayit kol haolam rabotai, and this is why the whole world Hashem created. Avur otam halomdim Torah umikaymim mitzvotav rabotai. For those people that they learn Torah and they fulfill the mitzvot. Rabotai, I want to explain to you something like this. V'im ken, he says, and if so, kol tachlit habriyah, the whole purpose of creation, v'hanachat shel haboreh, and the nachat for the Creator, for Hashem, zehu me'otam b'nei Torah, she'omdim b'nitziyot hakashim, v'yoshev amel b'Torah. Those b'nei Torah, that is hard for them, and they sit and they toil in the Torah. V'hakadosh Baruch Hu yoshev al kiseh kivodo ram v'nisa. Hashem sit on his high chair, which is above. Mabit alav be'en chamroto, with a good eye, with a deer's eye. V'tzofeu madbid bechol te'unatav rabotai. He looks at all his movements. V'hanhagotav, the way he behaves. Umidagdeg b'maasav rabotai, and he's particular with the maasim that he does. Because now, once he's a ben Torah, he has to live up to the stature. And now he says, Ukishit bonen hadam bekach rabotai, when a person thinks about this. V'yagbir b'machshatot tohorot elu rabotai. In your machshav rabotai, think about these pure things that we just said. Bevadai yinatel et kol zmano. For sure he's going to save every single moment of his time. V'zeh yashpia gam ken al kol hanhagotav rabotai. And this is going to also have an effect on all the ways you behave. Bidiburo, ubamabusho, ubamachalo, ubechol inyanav rabotai. The way a person speaks, the way a person dresses, the way a person eats, and all this matters, rabotai. When a person saves every single moment to go ahead and learn Torah, rabotai, the Torah is going to influence you to be a better person. Now, rabotai, why am I bringing this down? I want to show you something, rabotai. We have over here that he's saying, the Shavi Pol Tzadik, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has nachas from the Bnei Torah, correct? Rabotai, but we also say this Pirkei Avot. We say this in every Shabbat after Musaf, when towards the end. We go to Yeshua, correct? And they say, Tov Shem Mishem Tov Miyom HaMavet Miyom HaVilodo. Right? It's better the day of death than the day you were born. So everybody thinks, nice house, nice car, money, rabotai. We don't finish the sentence, rabotai. Tov Shem Mishem Tov. What's Pshat? Rabotai, listen to this carefully. Amar Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says, Ashrei mi she'amlo b'Torah. Praiseworthy is the one that is oisik, is toiling the Torah. Ve'ose nachat ruach liyotzro. And he brings nachat, he brings satisfaction to his creator. Now, rabotai, you go and say, Gadel b'shem tov. He was raised with a good name. V'niftar b'shem tov. And he passed away with a good name. Min ha'olam. From this world. V'alav amar shloma b'chochmot. On him. On a person that sits and learns Torah. Tov shem mishem and tov. It's a better name. Is better than all, rabotai. V'yom ha'mavet miyom hivulado. And the day of death is better than the day you were born. Rabotai, when was the statement said? Tov Shem Mishem Tov. Every time they do Hashkava, Tov Mishem Tov, everybody okay. Yeah, he was a good part. What? Rabotai, it is for those people that are sitting in Oishik Torah. Why? Can you imagine, Rabotai, if you ask your son or you ask your daughter to do something for you, or even sometimes your wife, Rabotai, and they do something and they don't give you no aggravation. And Rabotai, does that bring you nachat? It brings you a lot of nachat. So tovi, Rabotai. When you have free time, I'm not talking about the time that you already have set. Even when you have spare time right now, you know you want to do something that you're not supposed to. You know, you say, no, Hashem, let me take this 2 minutes just to give to you. I'll put it like this, Rabotai. I live in a building. Very, very simple. Sometimes I walk from the garage up until the elevator. It's like maybe 3 minutes, maybe sometimes 4 minutes with the waiting of the elevator. Rabotai, and that few minutes, you can look up certain halachot. You can listen to a shiur, Rabotai. Trying to save every single spare minute. Rabotai, you're driving from your house to the shul 2 times in the morning, put on a shiur, Rabotai. Again, when you're by yourself, with your wife, with your children, that's a different story. But we see from over here, Rabotai, why am I saying this, Rabotai? Because when you're doing this, you know what you're doing? You're giving HaKadosh Baruch Hu the greatest satisfaction ever. And this is the whole point, Rabotai. When you learn Torah, you should know Hashem is right over here, sitting in front of you, and you bring him nachat like a child. When he brings nachat to his parents, my son is a doctor. My son is a lawyer. Very nice. Kol hakavod. Rabotai, we should have to be also, my son is a ben Torah. My son is like this. My son is like this, Rabotai. We have to be able to raise them, Rabotai. If we don't show importance to the Torah, the children are not going to see it. Guys, pay attention. Guys, 1 minute, Michla, I'm over my time. Rabotai, pay attention. The people that are rich, their children, a lot of times become Talmidei Chacham. They become rabbis. The people that are not so rich, their children become businessmen. Why? Because when the father comes home, all he tells a rich family. He comes home, I'm talking about a good family. He comes home, he says, oh, this rabbi said, oh, I love this rabbi, I love this rabbi, Rav Chaim Igal, Rav Chaim Igal. Oh, the Gedolim, what is this child? Oh, my father praises, he values Gedolim. I want to become so my father can also value me. Because children always try to do something that's good in the eyes of the parents. So he's going to try to become a Talmid Chacham. But a regular family, if you come here, oh, you saw he made him $5 million. He built this house for $40 million. He got a yacht, he went to Miami. Okay, that's what makes my father happy. I want to become a businessman, Rabotai. You want to try to do both, Rabotai. I'm not telling you not. But I'm trying to value, Rabotai. Don't just show kids money, Rabotai. Value the Torah, Rabotai. Value the Chachamim. That's what Rav Meir Shlita says. You should never ever in your house speak bad about any rabbi. Because if the kid picks up on it, he's going to get discouraged from becoming a Talmid Chacham. Baruch Adonai L'Olam. Amen ve'amen. Rabbi Chanan.